Hello and welcome to another edition of Timebomb, the Kylie album Showdown podcast, and we are on to round two. So we've been doing this for 7.5 years now, and we're going to got another 2 years to go. But before we go on, I wanted to introduce my co-hosts. Gary is here and Elliot is here. Hello, boys.
Hello.
Hello.
That's made
It's
me
not quite been
chuckle.
7.5 years, but it has been quite a while. On to round two. If you'll remember from the last episode, we eliminated Let's Get To It. Still sticks in my throat a bit.
I'm sorry.
And we put Kylie Minogue forward. So that makes 8 records. So the idea now is we cut down 8 to 4, then we cut 4 to 2, and then we cut 2 to 1, and we can all finally go home. But that's a few weeks. That's a few weeks off yet, so we won't jump ahead of ourselves. But tonight is all about. This is a weird one because we normally spin the wheel and then we panic, cry, scream, whatever, and then try and talk about an album. But we actually have had 3 weeks in this case to and I'm still not ready. 3 weeks to get ready because we know which albums, the 2 albums we're going to talk about, but we don't know yet who gets to talk about which one.
Yeah.
So over to Elliot to explain the rules for round 2. And this is a new version of Elliot, by the way. The other Elliot that was here 3 weeks ago is gone. We now have a super slimline version of Elliot because he's cutting to be in a bodybuilding contest in a few weeks. So, yeah.
Yes. If I remember correctly, the new rules that we have, basically, we have set.
Well, you better
2
remember them
albums.
because you're
You're
the
the
boss.
adjudicator. Come on, Elliot.
That's my brain.
She hasn't eaten in so long she can't remember the rules.
I know. So we have got 2 albums we have already established from the end of the first bracket. Basically, we have got and we have chosen Light Years, and we have chosen Impossible Princess.
We didn't
We're gonna
choose
spin
them,
a-
Elliot. The wheel
well,
chose them.
The wheel did.
Let's be clear.
chooses. We will then take them into their own little personal wheel and spin those 2 albums and randomly assign one of them to each of you. We will do the age-old trick of which one will survive and which one will go into the Kylie Timebomb bin at the end of the day, and then it will then proceed to the next round.
It's very complicated. I can't keep up. I mean, it just keeps changing.
I tried to make it as
I'm
simple as
joking.
possible.
I got it, Elliot. We're good.
It's getting to the wire now, isn't it, to be fair? Because from here on in, there's no need for me to be throwing things at the screen anymore or sort of screaming at anybody or, profanity. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one tonight because they're 2 great albums, but I'm at the mercy of the wheel.
We are.
It's really up to Elliot and how hard he spins that wheel tonight. But
either
one, I think we can bravely fight for either one, can't we? Because we both love these records.
And one extra detail, one new thing that has come into this second bracket is that we have invited a special guest, a friend of the podcast, shall we say, to basically come in and have a little moment to talk about said album, give us their thoughts, their feelings, their connections to the album. So yeah, you'll be getting 2 fresh perspectives along each episode for each album. So that is an extra fun little twist that we've sprinkled into the second bracket.
Absolutely. We're delighted to have them on board. I can't wait to hear them. And also, me and Alan are not going to focus on the main songs that we might have focused on in round 1. To be honest, there's songs we've forgotten about that we probably will call out again from the album, but we are going to try and focus on some either deep cuts or B-sides or live versions. So we're going to kind of try and help Elliot see a little bit wider than just what we gave you in round 1, because we've already given you a bit of our insight. But as you well know, Elliot, myself and Alan's brain are full of Kylie knowledge, and most of it in Alan's brain is wrong, but
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if knowledge is the right word, but information. Somewhat scrambled.
It's nice when we can all just be so confidently wrong in the best way.
Absolutely.
So it's just
actually, I must say hello to Glenn Hudson, who is a big fan of the podcast, also a friend of Elliot's. Glenn rightly pointed out that sometimes we're overly confident about stuff we say, and the last episode Gary did claimed Word Is Out from the Let's Get To It album, hit number 16. I corrected him and said 15. Turns out Gary was right. So we often get it wrong. So thank you, Glenn. Absolutely nice of you to take the time out of your day to let us know. You're right. And thank you very much for enjoying the podcast.
Thanks, Glenn.
Who wants to call?
Oh, I did last time. You call, Gary. No, you call.
No, it was.
I called the last time.
It was Gary.
Did you? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we had the heads debacle, didn't we?
Oh,
Okay.
Remember the time where you didn't realise what you got?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Actually, when I listened back to that, honestly, I thought to myself, "What the hell?"
It was brilliant chaos.
It was absolutely chaotic. Let me think. I'm going to go Tails this week.
You're going Tails. Okay. It is Tails.
Oh.
Okay, so here we go.
So for clarity, Alan, the first album that comes up will be yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
So just repeat that.
Right. Let's give this wheel a spin.
Come on now.
You asshole.
Ooh.
Go on,
You've been given light years. Yeah. Okay. Which means that Gary gets Impossible Princess.
Okay, so then in summation, it is I'm going to do Light Years. Gary, you're going to do Impossible Princess. Yes? Yes.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that, and I would have been happy either way, but yeah. Okay. Let's
I love both these albums. I totally do. Come on, we got this, Alan. Come on.
Right, okay, Light Years. Okay, so this is a bit new to us because obviously we talked about Light Years, didn't we? I think was Light Years in the very first episode, if I remember correctly.
It was 7 years ago, Alan. Who
I can't
knows?
remember. It was a few years ago. It does feel like ages ago, but we talked about Light Years, and I mean, I said it then, I'd say it again. It's just such a fantastic record, and more so, I think, with the fans in retrospect and at the time, it wasn't expected. Nobody had any idea, that we were going to have this comeback that we had. And, without talking about the singles too much, because we'll talk about some of the other tracks, spinning around on a like this, Please Stay Kids, a fantastic run of singles. The album itself hit number 2, just behind Madonna. Spinning Around, as we know, went in at number 1, the charts a couple of weeks at number 1. We could talk about that all day, but really what I think I want to talk about, there's a few tracks that I found online that we'll play a few clips from, because it sounds, from what I can find, there was so much stuff recorded for this record that obviously didn't make the record. But I also think from listening to some of these tracks, the evolution of the album, it could have gone loads of different ways. I mean, you heard that one with Jimmy Little. We'll talk about that in a bit.
It was very KM94 in reality.
It was, yeah. Well, I never heard this track before. Jimmy Little, by the way, is a sadly R.I.P. Jimmy, died in 2012, but he's an Aboriginal artist from Australia. So I didn't know that. So she was that I think was what would have made news, I suppose, if it ever had become a single. I don't know if it's ever released anywhere in the world, but what a swerve as well. I could kind of, I don't think it would have fitted on the album. I don't know in the finished as Light Years sits now. Maybe I don't think it would have sounded good on the album, but a great song anyway. And it seems that she recorded 10, maybe 20, possibly more tracks, because there's also Cover Me With Kisses and Baby, which we'll play a little bit of now, because I think this one could have easily made the album, I think. I think
so the flavor of it is such so similar. It feels
that
very
much
like
summery vibe. Yeah, I mean, dare I say, maybe it would have made a great Danny single.
Ooh, interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think so. Because Danny is way more of a singles artist than Kylie's obviously singles and albums, but Danny is a real singles artist. And I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the promo around Light Years, because what I really failed to pay attention to at the time was her performance at the Australian Olympics, the
Yeah.
Summer Olympics. And I didn't realize how ambitious that was. You know, I've gone back to it. Gary, I mean, come on.
It was
It's gone down a
amazing.
legend now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, it's quite topical again. I don't know if you watched, Elliot, when Taylor announced last week the Showgirl album. So many people posted memes of Kylie in her Showgirl era. And then Kylie was so gracious in her tweet,
Totally was.
wasn't she?
Amazing.
I mean, it was just class personified. Of course, some of the queens took it the wrong way and thought she was having a slide at Taylor. She wasn't. She was
really
simply
wasn't.
saying, girl, we're all showgirls.
Yeah.
But to get back to the performance itself, I mean, this was such a... Light Years was a huge album in Australia for her, but I think this was a moment in Australia, I think, where she kind of maybe gone, okay, you love me,
Yeah.
you know, and I love you. I think she had loads of those moments in the UK, but I think that would have been the moment for her. And actually, it was so successful and watched by so many people that on a night like this had been number one, and then went back to number one after the performance. So it was watched by millions around the world. And, you know, I don't think she gets credit enough for some of those big milestones over the years. It was really huge. So, and then I was watching some Top of the Pops. I don't know if you watched Top of the Pops on Friday night.
Every Friday night. Alan, come on.
Yeah.
What do you think I have a life?
Last week, Breathe was on. Incredible.
Yes.
I don't know if you watched last week's episode. Breathe was on. But I look back on all the promo for Light Years. And for some reason in my head, Gary, I always thought that Kids was a Kylie single. Technically, it wasn't really. It was Robbie. He released it from his album.
Yeah.
So Kylie technically never really released Kids, did you? Even though we all say it was the third single.
Well, I think you said it was the third single, and
I
corrected
probably
me.
did. When I say we, I mean me, obviously. I always mean me when I say we. But I think I kind of underestimated how fucking impactful Kids was in terms of, in fairness to Robbie, what he did, because she had been massive, you know, and he had been massive. I think they both knew how it felt to be the cream of the cream for a few years, and then to have a year in the wilderness or two, and then to come back. So I think the significance of that, I think I underplayed at the time, because I'd be honest with you, not my favorite Kylie song, but I'm going to say Robbie's song, not my favorite song of hers. But again, I was watching Top of the Pops and they were both on, then the joy between the two of them, this magnetism. And then I think it was almost like the two of them winking at each other going, look, we're back. Yeah, we're kind of both back. Even though Robbie at that point was on to album 3, so he was the biggest star in the UK. So it was almost like he was giving her, let's just call it hand up. Yeah. You know, he was just saying, girl, I know you're making a comeback. And at that point, she'd have had Spinning Around and On a Night Like This be 2 international hits. Yeah. So, you know, she was back on a level playing field again.
But it was on the album. It was on Light Years. It did.
Yeah,
it
was. Yeah, of course, yeah. It was. But I think when you look at the single, it is a Robbie single, isn't it? Yes, look how gorgeous that is.
I have the vinyl. Yeah. If anyone's watching on camera, we have the vinyl.
Is that the white one?
No, this was the re-release from a few years ago. But yeah,
yeah.
It's beautiful. But Kids is on it.
Can we go back then, Gary, and play also a little bit of that Bury Me Deep in Your Love, which was a duet with Kylie and Jimmy Little. This came out, it was recorded for Light Years, but I think it'll give you an idea maybe of the evolution of the album, because it certainly doesn't. A lot of these tracks that were made during Light Years recording sessions, maybe apart from Baby, you know, they don't really sound like anything that ended up on the album, and I find that quite interesting. So she would have had, Impossible Princess 97, so she had 2 years to cook something up, and they certainly went in lots of directions. So have a little listen to this and see what you think.
Bury me deep in love, take me in under your wing, bury me deep in love.
There's a chapel deep in a valley for traveling strangers in distress. It's nestled among the ghost of the pines under the shadow of a precipice.
When a lonesome climbing figure slips and loses grip.
It's so like it's like as if it's kind of Nick Cave ballad B2.
Yeah, to me on the first listen, I like it. but like if I was to put it in light years, it would need
It
different
would
production.
stick out like a sore
Like
thumb, wouldn't it?
it's the thing. The sentiment's lovely. I think that it just
Yeah.
needs, like it just compared to Baby, like the way
Yeah.
that they both sound, like sonically, like they're very different swords.
Yeah. It's just funny because I remember reading all about light years over the years and stuff, and I remember a lot of the executives at the label, they were saying, look, just do pop, let's go back to pop. But then
But that
they
wasn't
clearly
pop.
were an experiment. No, it wasn't. And a few of the other tracks, there's lots of different leaks from light years on YouTube if you want to go into a deep dive like I did last week. I just suggest going to bed at some point, close your eyes a bit, but do not do it at 3 a.m. I don't know what the catalyst must have been. I'd love to know the song where they went, this is the sound, because Light Years has a sound, doesn't it? Remember we said poolside, cocktails.
Yeah.
It has a certain sound. It doesn't veer too far away from it. It's very consistent, whereby all the other tracks you worked on, they're mad. They're going from pure pop to that to, ballads, acoustic. It's, I'd love to have been along for the journey to how they got to where they did, because the finished product is amazing. I want to hand over now to our special guest, because as Elliot said, we're both going to have a special guest talk about the next 8 albums. So for the next 4 episodes, we'll have 2 friends of ours. Today just happens to be 2 friends of mine. So we're going to hear from Dom, who went a bit extra, didn't he?
He
to be
did.
fair.
He
Yeah,
did.
Dom went a bit extra. He works at a gallery in Manchester, so he went a bit extra.
cool.
So here's Dom talking about Light Years.
Hi everyone, my name is Dominic and I'm going to talk about Light Years, of which the video behind me in the Whitworth Art Gallery here in Manchester is from. This is the single that catapulted the Queen, my Queen, back into the pop stratosphere, where she should have been and where she should have been the whole time. This is one of my favourite albums. It is camp, it is pop, it is disco, it is queer, it is gay. It's everything that I love about Kylie Minogue in an album. It's what she should have been making all the way through the 90s, except for that one particular album in 97 that she deviated from what she was good at and who her audience was. Kylie Minogue sat on Neighbours, as we know, a telenovela, very camp, on TV twice a week, on TV twice a day. It wasn't, it wasn't highbrow. There was nothing highbrow about it. As I stand here in the Whitworth Art Gallery with Kylie Minogue behind me, do you know what I mean? Highbrow downstairs. Neighbours, not highbrow. It was camp, it was cheesy, it was on twice a day, it was Australian, the sun was shining, people went to the beach, do you know what I mean? It was camp. And let's not think that camp is anything to be laughed at or scoffed at. It's an important methodology within academia. Lots of people write about camp and the importance of camp within culture. And this is a prime example of that. You could write essays and dissertations and theories and philosophies around the importance of camp within that canon of academia, within the canon of camp. This album is that. We had Impossible Princess in 97, which was very glum and very self-reflective and very dark, and wasn't the Kylie Minogue that we grew up watching on Neighbours. It wasn't the Kylie Minogue that we listened to throughout the early 90s, through that PWL era. Granted, that PWL era was very cheesy. It was very poppy cheese. But then we got to 2000 and Light Years, bam, she is back. And that booty, look at that booty, those allegedly 50 pence hot pants from the London market, insured now in an art gallery in Melbourne for 5 million. Very much doubt that's the case. I do work in an art gallery, I very much doubt that's the case. But amazing, this is the album that did it. This really is the album that did it for her. My 3 favourite, and without this album, let me just say, you would not have got Fever and you would not have Kylie Minogue that we have today. You would not have got the longevity of Kylie Minogue if it wasn't for this album here. This really put her back on that stratosphere. My favourite singles from the album, Light Years, especially the Steve Anderson mixes from Homecoming and Showgirls, where he mashes it up with Turn It Into Love. Love, love, love. Love at First Sight. Every time that I hear that, it's absolutely amazing. And Your Disco Needs You wasn't released because it was too gay. Can't say further than that.
Oh, that was brilliant.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. But Love at First Sight's
It's not on light years. Oh, Tom, we don't want to
Oh.
put you in correction corner, but come on.
He's totally correction corner. I'm in there this week, but so
Alan
come up
says
here and
so.
join me, Dom. Oh, for God's sake, Dom, bless you.
Bless
That was
Brilliant.
high energy,
Love
and
that.
seriously extra. So I think he likes light years.
I think so, yeah. I mean,
I think he does.
And also, you can tell it's a friend
Yeah.
of yours because he's cheating and dissing the album that I'm about to go and sell in his
I
pre-recording.
clocked that too.
I never spoke to him about this. I never told him what to do. I just said, record the 3-minute video. So don't you start with that. No, I'd never try and sabotage it. But yeah, no, fair play, Dom. Thank you for that. That was really good.
Yes, thank you.
I think we've gotten from you that it's camp.
I
Yeah,
think-
we definitely
yeah.
got that. For sure. Yeah, got a big camp. And, he clearly, obviously great choice of singles. Light Years is a great song. But yeah,
Well, thank you, Alan.
Elliot,
That was great.
can I have like just one moment where, because you're going to hate me, I'm breaking the rules, but there's going to be so many people who follow us on Instagram that if I don't say the name of this song as part of Light Years, because it's not in diss to Alan for missing it at all, because there's so much out there to choose. But there's a B-side called Paper Dolls. It's stunning, it's beautiful,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
justice for Paper Dolls, because I'm not getting to sell Light Years today. I would have talked more about it. Everyone on Instagram, no, I would have talked about Paper Dolls. It's amazing.
Okay.
yeah, no, I did write that down. I did. It is.
Stunning.
I love that. I love the first verse is lovely. No, okay, in fairness, yeah. Paper Dolls, again, and thank you, Gary. Thank you for giving me an extra minute or so.
No,
Just to
I'm
say
giving
Paper
you
Dolls is
more
great.
time. Elliot, it's back to Elliot now.
Great.
Stop.
Paper Dolls is great.
Stop. Well, thank you for that, Gary. Now it's time for you to talk about Impossible Princess.
come on, girl.
I'm ready, and I'm going to
Take it
start.
away.
I'm taking it away, Elliot. I'm going. Here we go. Well, screw you, Dom, saying this album was boring and glum or whatever you just said in your sale. Still love you, Dom. You did a great sale of Light Years.
I know. Then you said it was downbeat. Didn't say it was boring.
Well, whatever.
No.
I have got the version that I talked about in round one, which is this hologram version, where it's this stunning.
Love it.
Like, I'm showing it to camera, by the way, in case anyone isn't watching. We have this beautiful card that was inserted that is like the album cover. She was, at the
So
time.
listen. So I've only just worked out. So that wasn't the actual sleeve. It's a card, and then the sleeve is separate.
Yeah, the sleeve is
Oh
there.
God, that's not as much fun.
Girl, it was an independent label, okay? They didn't have a lot of
Yeah.
money back then, but it still looks cool.
No, I get
okay?
it. I get it.
looks
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Nice.
Things
I like it.
were tight. Yeah.
So, Elliot, this, as you know, was her second album with Deconstruction, the kind of that indie Kylie period, not necessarily all indie songs, but like an independent-ish dance label. We talked about it in round one when we talked about the KM94 album, and when we rightly so put this album through to the second round because it is bloody brilliant. But this was an era where actually, as a collector, this is like a dream era. There was so much really, really good stuff. And I've been in my archives, let's just say. And this stuff has made it, like, from Manchester to Spain, it's made the move. I've got, like, this is the Some Kind of Bliss singer. Like, that imagery is so different. Breathe. Look at that. Did it again.
Yeah.
And Alan, the one you mentioned the last time, did it again. That's really cool, isn't that one? The one you mentioned the last time, the super... I have the Cowboy Style, Australian only single. Yeah.
I love that image as well, though. That's a wonderful image of her.
Stunning.
Yeah.
But there was imagery in that era, or kind of collector stuff in that era, which was amazing. A great time to be a fan. We're going to listen to, obviously, our guest's reaction to the whole album in a second. So I'm not going to talk about the album too much today. I'm going to talk about when the album went live. Because the album came alive in Australia through a tour, which we talked about in round one, which is called, again, I'm going to show to the camera because I have this, Intimate and Live. Elliot, cue the original Showgirl, not the original Showgirl, but cue the Showgirl. But what I love, and I'm going to share some videos with you as part of my part today, is that like she was becoming a real live act in this era. She was really finding her home as a live act. There's all the camp songs are there. What do I have to do? Shock. The original songs, they're all very rocky and stuff. But actually, she didn't have to play to that because she was so successful at that time. So I'm going to show you, firstly, the kind of first song. It's called "It's Too Far," right? And this is from the live tour. very basic, very pared back, but she just went for it. I could show you the whole concert, Elliot. I won't. But like, look how
I could watch that right now. I've never seen that before.
It's stunning. Look how pared back it was. But she starts like, yes, we all love Camp Kylie. Yes, I could sell light years and say like, you know, that it's part of Kylie's brand. It is. But this was a time where Kylie was taking risks. And look, she went on stage, pared back. You know, she joked years later that she'd no budget for this tour, and like you can see it. But still, she made an effort, and I love that she kind of started with album tracks like this, which are very deep, very dark songs. And I think at that time, it was a time where Kylie was in control and just absolutely smashing it. So there is one part of Intimate and Live where I think she really, really was showing, you know, her talent and coming out and not giving us what we all expected and what we wanted. Maybe she was giving us something different. And
actually, to quote Dom rather than Tom, Dom, he was saying, oh, you know, she went into a dark, moody period, you know, for Possible Princess. But actually, if you think about it, pop was about to make a big comeback. Like the year after, we were looking at the Backstreet Boys' biggest year, and then, you know, we went into light years in 2000. Actually, the musical landscape around Possible Princess was very much, we've gone from the Seattle kind of, you know, that Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and there was lots of rock music in the mid-90s. So I think she was very much on trend in terms of the music there. But you're right. She was just showing us a different side of herself, wasn't she, really?
She totally was. And there's one song on the album, and I'm going to show another thing to camera, because look at this little beauty. This is from the re-release. This is the picture disc of the vinyl of it. And there's a track on here that I wanted to focus on today. So we've been doing deep dives over the last 2 weeks, and I could focus on so many songs, but there's one called Drunk. I'm not happy being drunk till you take all of me. Like really, really great lyrics. And again, she did this live. So here we go, Elliot. Here's what I prepared earlier. You can tell I've been doing my homework this week. This is it from Live at Intimate and Live.
Yeah.
I really have. I've been working it, girl. I've been working it.
Proud of you.
Proud of me. I mean, I did it about an hour before the record, but you know, we did it.
I was gonna say actually getting a bit carried away because earlier on you texted me saying I'm not ready. So
I did. I literally did this like an hour before the record. But I knew where I was going with it. I've been planning it in my head.
It's the same though.
Planning it in my head. To be fair. So here is Drunk, the song that I'm talking about, live from Intimate and Live. Look at what we're looking at here. We're looking at the evolution of the Kylie that we have today, which has just sold out a world tour around with Tension, right? That comes from here. That started on this stage where she did a live band, where she had, you know, a really basic stage, but was even in them little clips that you can see, Elliot, she was owning that stage, and she was owning it with not the hits. She was owning it with the album that was selling it, the album that was, you know, air of that time. I mean, it's very, very of its time. And so I think Intimate and Live, for me, is another reason why this album deserves not to go in the bin. And, you know, we can say, I'm going to do an Alan here, and we can say that Light Years is incredible. It is. But this is different. This cannot go in the bin because it's so in a time in Kylie's kind of career that has to be saved and savored. It did cause a bit of debate on our Instagram channel over the last couple of weeks. We've had
Good bit.
conversations about
Lord.
dirty, hidden, secret lyrics in the song Dreams. Colin,
Debunked, we think,
we
though.
we
Debunked.
might have had them debunked by some other listeners. I listened, I can't hear the lyrics. But apparently,
No, I
there's
can't
some
either.
people saying Kylie says some
Okay.
rude words in the song Dream. So I'm gonna pass over, Elliot, to our special guest, and our special guest for this album, which is so important. It's a friend of Alan's, but so important that we got it. We got an Aussie. We got an Aussie to sell Impossible
Yeah, we did.
Princess to it. This is James, originally from Australia, now living in Norwich. And here we go with James's sale. That's going to just solidify everything that you believe, Elliot, that this is the best album.
Stop trying to score points.
Yes, it's James. Thanks for having me on. I'm here to talk about Kylie's Impossible Princess. This album came out in 1997 when I was 15 in high school in Sydney, Australia. And it really took us all by surprise. At the time, Kylie was kind of seen as kind of a daggy, kind of almost industry plant. She was just a voice for hire that sang other people's songs and did what she was told, and she was pretty and bubbly. And I think what struck us about this album is the fact that it was this strong artistic statement of a woman taking full responsibility and control of her career and what it is she wanted to put out there. And I think it is Kylie's most personal album to date. And I don't think she's ever quite got as personal in her lyrics or involved in the writing of the songs as much as she has on this album. And I think you have to commend someone for taking, at this point of their career, a very defiant sense of independence to release the album she wanted to release and to make the music she wanted to make, and to not sort of slavishly follow the trends of the time, but to actually push things forward more, push pop music forward more, push herself more vocally, push herself more artistically, and very well aware of where she sits in it. And I think when you look at the kind of milieu that was around at the time this album was released, it's also a homecoming for Kylie, which is why I think it resonates more in Australia than it did in the UK. Because there's always this kind of idea that Kylie had sort of outgrown her roots and she was embarrassed of who she was as an Australian. And during this period, she'd come back. She had a relationship with Michael Hutchins, Australia's bad boy pop rock, and then she was collaborating with the king of the alternative music scene, Nick Cave. And so this was kind of seen as Kylie coming back, doing a musical style that really resonated much more with an Australian audience than I think they did with the UK audience, which is much more towards alternative and rock music. And songs like Did It Again, which is a killer song that I love a lot, was really hitting onto that kind of history of Australian rock music. So tapping into the Divinals and some of the other Australian sort of bands that were out at the time doing this kind of music. And then sort of experience it more and bringing in some of these trip hop influences and pushing pop music more. And with tracks like Limbo, which is another great track that she has on the album. And one of my other favorite tracks that she had is Cowboy Style, which is again bringing in these kind of sort of world music elements. So if you don't know this about Australia, Australia has a very strong world music culture. There's a festival in Adelaide called Adelaide, which is the biggest world festival musics in the world. So that kind of resonating with bringing in cultural influences to music was also quite popular and quite sort of seen as quite Australian. And then I think you can see that she's really making some banger tracks on this. And my favorite track is Breathe, which is the sexiest that Kylie has ever been on a track to date at this time. I think she's gone, Kylie's always been a bit sexy. But on this, it was trying to really shake off that girl next door persona and go like, no, I'm a woman of time. I have reclaiming my sexuality. And again, this independence. So I think in terms of Kylie creatively, this was an album she had to make. And if she didn't make this album, I don't think she could have gone forward very more. And it's an album that gave her credibility in the music industry and independence, and people willing to give Kylie the ability to sort of chart her own path in a way. I don't think you'd have had some of the subsequent albums that she's made if she hadn't been able to make this album and stamp herself creatively over it as much as she did. And she's never been this personal since. And I think a lot of that came from the backlash and sort of that people she suffered, particularly in the UK, from this album and the poor sales that it's seemed to have done. But I think retrospectively, this album has been given the kudos it needs to be. Like, as a strong artistic statement, stands the test of time. It's not disposable pop because it has something to say and it's saying it in a very interesting way. And I think you can also see how much it influenced other music at the time. I don't think you would have had the Sugar Babes, whose first album was very hitting into those kind of club aesthetics and alternative music aesthetics and pop, or the second album by All Saints, which was Pure Shores and Black Coffee, was also leading very much into these alternative pop music spaces. I don't think those albums would have been made had it not been for Kylie releasing this one and sort of charting the way forward. So I full stand by this album. I think it's great, and I think it's worthy winner of Kylie's best album.
I stand you, my
That was so
friend.
good.
What a sale.
Do you know what?
My goodness.
Do you know what? He is such a wonderful person, but he's so methodical, you know, and I'm not surprised that was like ran off his tongue like he says it every day 100 times.
Well, because he's speaking
you know
the
what?
truth, Alan. He's not having to make it up.
I will say, I never really made that connection between, say All Saints and that, but it kind of makes sense, really, actually.
It definitely
Now,
does.
well done, James. Well done, James.
I mean, I probably should have played James right at the start myself because, you know, Elliot, I think we've done enough tonight to make sure that this is the winner. And James has absolutely knocked it out of the park and shown why
He did, knocked it out of the park.
this
He
album
knocked it out of the
cannot
park.
go in the bin. It can't go in the bin, Elliot.
Well, listen,
It's down to Elliot.
Elliot,
So,
come on.
where are we going, Elliot?
Oh, God, guys, it's not an easy one this week. I think that this is like... It's two completely different brushstrokes.
Put that down. Put that down. I feel like I didn't do enough. I feel like I'm losing. I feel like I just didn't do enough.
Or are we just gonna just let me
Go
are
on,
you just
go
gonna
on,
talk?
go on,
Shall I
go
just
on.
wait? I'll just wait.
No. Go on.
When... I just feel like they're two albums that are just like two completely different brushstrokes of creativity. I think the one that actually lasts the longest and actually spreads further through her career, it's got to be Light Years. What I will say about Impossible Princess is I really enjoy how much of a left field album it is, but I feel like as a choice, like the focus isn't there like Light Years has. But I think as Kylie as an artist, when you look back at her albums, I understand the weight that Impossible Princess has, but I think that as a career, the Light Years makes more sense as part of her stepping stones.
Yeah.
Sadly,
You're wrong.
I totally
Not
get
to
it,
say-
Elliot.
not-
I get what
not
you're
to
saying.
s-
You're wrong.
Not to say that it's awful. No, I'm not saying
It's
awful,
not.
and I still think that it's not. It is not. But
You just
if I'm
put
having
this.
guns to my head,
You just
and I
put
have-
this in the bin. How can you
Okay,
put
we've seen that. We've
put
seen
many
it.
other
I've got another
albums in the
version
bin.
too. Look, I've got
We've
another
seen it.
version. There's another version. So
We've
you
seen
can put that in
it.
the
We've
bin.
seen it. We've seen it. We've
Fuck's
seen
sake,
it.
Elliot. You can't put Impossible Princess in the bin. There's like...
I'm sorry.
so
Just
just wrap it up
no.
for us, Elliot. Who's the winner?
The winner is Light Years.
It would be impossible, Gary, and you have to admit this. And I think what Elliot was touching on is spot on. That like an album that includes Spinning Around, which is a career record. Now, there's not a career song on Impossible Princess. Kylie wouldn't dare do a tour without playing Spinning Around, and probably wouldn't dare do a tour without playing On a Night Like This, would she?
No.
Like, they're career
But so-
singles. And I get
think
what
that's-
Elliot meant, as in Impossible Princess is great, but
I
it's
think-
not a career
but
record.
I think that Impossible Princess still is a career record. It's just a different point in her career where I think that it makes sense, but if you're choosing between the two of them, Light Years makes more sense.
I bloody
Like,
love
you
Light
really
Years.
There was another one.
Would you really have preferred Impossible
Yeah.
Princess to go through over?
Yeah.
Really?
I adore Light Years, and for all the reasons that you say, Alan. Yes, it's a career record. Yes, Spinning Around's incredible. I get it, but
Yeah. You
it's
can't put those in the
it's
bin.
so special to Kylie fans. But I get it, right? This isn't just
Yeah.
about me. This is the bigger picture. I'm not gonna agree with you, Elliot. I may not even like you for about 24 hours. Okay, you'll probably get.
Fine. I can sense. I feel like there's just going to be just a collection of just.
Just don't
upset
expect any
and
response on WhatsApp for 24 hours. Okay, just
I'm
know you're
fine
in
with
trouble.
that, maybe. But I still respect it, and I will always respect Impossible Princess.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Oh my god! I can't
Well,
believe it.
it's another clean sweep then for Light Years, which moves forward
To round 3.
So round 3. Well done, Light Years. Impossible Princess unfortunately falls at the second hurdle.
If you're looking on screen now, this is what's left on the Timebomb wheel.
Right. Shall we get to spinning to decide
Oh, yeah.
what we will be
That's my
tackling
favourite bit.
next week then?
Do it.
So next
Do
week
it.
we're going to
Okay,
be. Alan, are you
let's
ready for the
give
dark
you-
holes we're about to
I'm
go
ready
into?
for it.
We're going into dark holes.
I'm ready for it. I
Okay,
love
come
this
on,
because I
let's-
don't care now. They're all so good. I don't care which one.
So first up we have
Kylie 88.
And just to remind everybody, that's one that I won with, the only one that I won with. So I do hope that you get that one.
Honestly, who is keeping score? But yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Let's
I am.
spin the
You
wheel.
do keep score when it's 7-1. You've got no choice.
And it's up against.
Oh.
Oh my god. Fever.
Wow. Wow.
That's a battle, Alan.
All
We
right.
got some
Yeah, it's a bit
homework
of a
to
battle,
do
that
for the
one,
next
yeah.
few weeks. Oh, I can already see
Oh,
myself
God.
watching videos of Kylie doing Got to Be Certain walking down the canal in Melbourne.
Oh,
I'm
there's
there.
a treasure trove
I'm
on
there.
YouTube. There's a treasure
Can't wait.
trove of stuff
Can't
for
wait.
88, but there's also a treasure trove for Fever. Yeah, that'd be a good one. That'd be a really good one, actually. Yeah.
Before we go, can I do a shout out to a lovely person that I met in Torremolinos a few weeks ago? I was on holidays, and to say that he made my holiday, because I think I text the boys within 2 seconds of
You
this
did.
happening. The lovely
Yeah.
Stephen, I don't know if it's Steve or Stephen, who came up to me and said, "Do you have a podcast?" And it was this podcast, and he recognized me, and all of a sudden now I think I'm famous, and we.
Where's he from, Gary?
Oh,
Where's he from?
he's got a Geordie accent. I mean, I was drunk every time I met you, Steve.
Newcastle.
But I think it was
way, maybe.
Newcastle. His Instagram handle is My Disco Needs You. We love him already just for having a disco handle, Instagram handle like that. He has a great Kylie tattoo of Fever on his arm, so he'll love the next episode. And Stephen, you were really
Basically your
nice.
twin.
Yeah, he was lovely.
He's your
Lovely.
twin.
Really lovely. Yeah. Hi, Stephen. Thank you for recognizing me. I mean, I was such a dickhead.
And Gary, do you want to tell the people where they can find us on the socials and all the other bits and pieces?
I mean, I listened back to this the last time, Elliot, and it was an absolute shit show. So what I'll do is we're on Instagram, we're on X, we're on Blue Sky. I'll put them in the show notes. So if you're on YouTube or Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen to it, the handles are in there. But what we love since the last episode is people getting involved. Now that we know the 2 albums that are here for the next one, so over the next few weeks, tell us what your deep cuts are, your memories. Talk to us, and as we said the last time, send me and Alan down some dark holes on the web. We love it.
I love a dark hole.
We love it.
Dark hole.
We love a dark hole and we love a dark room, Elliot. We love a dark hole and we love a dark room.
Keep it PG now, boys. Keep it PG. And just before we go, can I say happy birthday to Confide in Me, which is 31 years old today.
Shut up.
Oh.
Shut up. I know.
way.
31. Can you believe it?
Still an absolute banger.
Yeah, we'll see you all next time for a battle between Kylie 88 and fucking Fever. Wow.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.
See ya.
See you guys later. Bye now.